Ladies and gentlemen, it's Airsick Hydra here, and we are going to be talking about Necromunda Underhive Wars. Now, before you get excited, I'm afraid this is another one of those videos saying WTF is going on with this, because it's been so long. We first heard about this back in, I think, 2017. I was a little old YouTuber doing my thing in more time, had my 20 subs, had a couple of regular viewers, great old time, having a bash, having a blast. Suddenly an announcement comes out of the blue saying, we're not going to support more time anymore, we're going to move on to other projects. So I moved on to a different project, waiting for this one to be developed. And yay, some years later, we've basically got sod all. We had what I believe to be a third-party CGI video, which was done as some early sort of promotional marketing material. I don't believe any of it was in-game footage, although probably someone will correct me on that. And yes, it looked very good, and it was met with an apology afterwards from the developers saying, sorry, we peaked a little bit early here. The game's nowhere near ready, but we got this thing done, so we were really excited. And okay, fine, maybe we've all peaked a little bit early as a result of that. However, I do think there are a couple of causes for concern. Namely, that on Twitter, forums, Facebook, there's just nothing. There is absolutely nothing within the last year hinting at anything. There's no little tidbits of sort of, oh, this is happening, this might be happening, this is going to be there. And we were hopefully going to be looking at a 2020 release date. Now, we have to say that there are plenty of games coming out in 2020 that haven't released anything to reveal their content. It is more than possible to release a game in 6 months' time and to release nothing to the public about what the hell is inside it until maybe a month before. Maybe not at all, maybe a week before. Some games do it. It's not particularly common, and normally we'll have the early access, the betas, but as far as we can tell, they're not even recruiting closed beta testers. Maybe they won't need to, because who the feck knows. But either way, I do think is a little bit too silent for a little bit too long. We had a video from Arch Warhammer some 7 months ago saying, WTF is going on with this game, because I've not heard anything. And hey, 7 months later, I'm here doing the same. So, there is one thing I would also like to say before we part ways today, and that is potentially something that makes me a little bit concerned. This is that Rogue Factor are recruiting, and within the last month, an AI designer to work on an original IP. Of course, 40k is not an original IP, it is an IP that has been flogged to death by all sorts of indie game developers, and either way, it's a pre-existing IP. Now, could it be that Rogue Factor have expanded to the point they've got enough staff to work on 2 projects simultaneously? Maybe it's possible. I don't know the internal gossips of every game developer. I haven't spoken to Rogue Factor probably in about a year. Now, what else do we have going on? Well, maybe they changed the IP. Maybe they ditched it from being Games Workshop to being something else. And maybe they're changing and tweaking the IP from Necromunda to something else. Maybe the project got ditched. I think that's something that I wouldn't be surprised at. But of course, I'm just still hopeful that they're being quiet. It'll come out by 4th quarter and we'll have an extra game to play with. But for now, I'm being a little bit on the skeptical side and just kind of parking this one to one side. Perhaps this video will stimulate a little chat from the developers. Perhaps there'll be a couple of little teasers and a little bit of information. Perhaps not. One cannot rush a developer, for if there is not something ready to be shown, you should not show it, because it will just look like a disaster. If you've got random polygons in the middle of a map, for example, which even released games seem to these days, don't show it to the public. It's not going to go down very well. Guys and girls, in these sorts of times, stay safe, stay indoors. I hope everyone is in as good health as you can be, and love to you all. I will see you again in the next video, where we will be speculating on some of the upcoming games for 40k in 2020 from these mystery mobile phone developers. And we will try to keep optimistic. Have yourself a great day, guys. Speak to you soon.